So today, we're going to carry that conversation on with debt elimination.
Yes.
Which have my cousin is joining us today, Terri. Yay.
Yay. And the crowd goes wild.
Yes, we have her on the line today from Houston, Texas. She's going to join the conversation because she has experienced and done the process and worked through eliminating debt.
Mm-hmm.
So, hello, Miss Terri.
Hi, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are going to let Simply C take the wheel.
Yeah, so almost every week I say that I am on this journey with you. So I'm not perfect, and I have things that I gotta fix and debt that I am trying to pay. And today, I just thought I would be a little transparent with this discussion, transparent and open. I'm usually an open book. Not all the way open because I'm married and my husband is not that open book. Open book. So there are just some things that I don't share and can't share because they're not mine totally, to own and open up. But I think something that is really important is eliminating debt so that you can get to the point that you can invest and save and for at an amount that really brings back an awesome return, right? So if you have debt, and I think Randy talked about this in his in the show that we did with him recently, because we asked about the debt versus investing and things like that. And so if your debt interest rates are at an amount or a percentage rate that's going to exceed the rate of return, you need to get rid of that debt. And so I was researching a couple of ways and methods used, and both of them are pretty popular. One is the debt snowball and one is the debt avalanche. I'm going to get tied up on that word every time I say it. So the debt avalanche is where you pay off the debt with the highest interest rate first, right? So you list out all of your debts, all of the amounts, so the balances, and then the interest rates and the minimum payment. And then you will, you start paying, you list them in interest rate order, right? So highest to lowest. And what you do is you start making payments on the one with the highest interest rate. And what you want to do first, this goes back, all this stuff just ties in together, right? So what you want to do first is go back to that tracking and that budget and putting together a budget so that you know how much extra you can apply towards that debt. And so you'll take your debt, put them in order by interest rate, and then whatever amount you've budgeted to pay extra towards your debt, you'll pay the minimum payments for each one of those. You want to keep your credit good. So you definitely have to pay the minimum payment on each one of them. But then you want to add that extra $200 to the one with the highest interest rate so that you can get it paid off. And the other one is the debt snowball. So the debt snowball method, you put all your debt in order from lowest balance to the highest, no matter what the interest rate is. Okay. And so with that one, you will be paying off the smallest one first. And then you take whatever you were paying for the smallest one and you apply it to the next one. And you just continue to do that until you're at the highest balanced one. And then until you're at zero. So to me, the benefit, and it depends on what type of person you are, personality you have. So if you're patient and focused and really disciplined, I think the debt avalanche is a good one because the highest interest rate, you're definitely going to save more if you get that one with the highest interest rate tackled and then work your way down. So you'll save some money there by getting rid of that one first. But with the debt snowball, if you're like me and need those small wins and need to continuously see wins in order to stay focused, I think the debt snowball is the way to go. And that's the direction that I've taken. And it's also a program that I'm doing too. And they recommend the debt snowball. And so I just started a month ago. Has it even been a month ago? Well, I've been paying debt, but doing it the debt snowball way is where I've just recently gotten really focused on it. And I've already paid off one card, and I'm working on the other one. I'm probably about $500 in. So this Nerd Wallet is some organization or whatever it is. I don't even know them business, but it's this is where I've gotten these articles from. And so I went out to Nerd Wallet. They have a calculator, and it's pretty cool because you can put your debt in there. And so I put all these 5, I think it's maybe 4. It was 4 credit cards, right, that I have. And so if I didn't put any extra on it, it would take me till 2027, I think, or 29 even, to pay these things off. 2027, November 2027.
To pay all 4 of them off?
Yes, if you pay nothing more
than the minimum
payment.
Wow.
So,
and does it tell you how much extra you'll pay?
Yes. Okay, so I'm shifting through papers. I'm sure you can hear it. But it does tell you how much you'll pay. I'll tell you. So I put in the extra $200. If I don't put anything in, dang, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. Okay. So just paying the minimum amount each month up until November of 2027, I will have paid $3,738 in interest. Okay. On the Snowball, it's the same, and with the Avalanche, it's the same. So that's with no extra payments. That's just strictly paying the minimum payment, right? And so putting in an extra $200 a month on it, and this is just not being in any type of payoff order. It said that I would pay $1,000 and 28 interest in dollars in interest, but it would be paid off in 2023. Okay,
so you knocked off 4 years,
4 years and 7 months,
and then $2,000 worth of interest.
$2,000 worth of interest. And so just putting it goes through each one of those and tells you how much you save or how much less interest you pay if you do the Snowball or the Avalanche method. And like I said, I could save a little bit of money by doing the Avalanche, but again, I am that person that needs those small wins. And so I'm spending a little extra in interest. And it looks like it's less than, it's like $90 more just to have those small wins. But I need them small wins. I need them small wins. And then the other thing is I can always take extra money and apply that. So if I sell a sign or if I, different, just whatever comes. If I get that, what is that unexpected money? Tiffany Aliche, the budgetista, says that that unexpected money. So any unexpected money is going to debt.
So you can speed it up.
So I can speed it up.
I mean, so it doesn't even have to be that. It can even be a lot better than those statistics that you've
exactly
ran. Yeah.
And then just finding other areas to cut money and reduce debt is, once, like we ate out once this week, which, when we first started doing this, I told you I had gone back through my checkbook and I had spent $600 eating out. And that's what I could account for in 60 days. That was a lot of stinking money. And so I'm trying to, in my budget, just budget like a month, $100 on eating out and taking the rest of that money and then applying it, reallocating it, reassigning it somewhere else.
Right.
So one of those cars was like, it's like $3,300. I have one that's like $1,900, one that's $1,400, and then another that is $503. So just being able to knock those things off and then allocate that money towards savings and investing. And so that's why I'm like, we need to get rid of the debt so that we have the money to get rid of things. And I'm being really transparent with this because I want people to know that they're not alone, for one, and that really, if you need an accountability partner, because I think accountability is really, really big, I am opening myself up to that. We've started a Let's Talk Money group on Facebook. And so that's one way you can reach out to me. Excuse me. And then we can connect and share information and contact information, whatever. So if you're looking for accountability partner, somebody who's on this journey with you, like I said, I'm here, and I just wanted to be open and transparent because I think that helps people who are on that journey or who at least want to get on it.
Right. And then you guys can share tips
Mm-hmm.
in different ways. Well, I tried this or I tried that, or, you can brainstorm and think of different things and share and swap,
Right.
and that's awesome.
And I think even I'm losing hope. I'm struggling,
Yeah.
and you got somebody there who knows what it's like, who can say, girl, we got this, or
Yeah.
dude, quit tripping.
They help you stay focused.
And help you stay focused. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that. I'm transparent. Like I said, I'm an open book, but I am a work in progress. And then the fact that this is what frustrates me, because I know better. And, just some of the videos I've been listening to too, we get these credit cards with points and different things like that. And the points are nice, but if you don't have the discipline to pay that credit card all the way off, just don't do it. The points don't matter. It don't matter at that point.
Because discipline is key.
Mm-hmm.
And all that, to me, it ties back to the mindset, habits,
And
all
the
of
habits.
that.
It does.
And having a spending plan and sticking to it. And then making it easy. Because how easy is it? Just like our credit cards could be tied to Amazon, how easy is your credit card tied to your bank account to be able to pay it? Mine is tied.
It is.
It's real easy. It's very easy for me to pay my credit card, and I do it. It's very easy to move that money and pay it.
And I do it sometime, but that is that. And I know other people that I've talked to, they have every intention, or they'll charge something for somebody to get this discount or whatever. The person to give them the money, they just don't pay the bill. And that cash being in your pocket, you end up spending it in ways that you never intended to. And so just having that discipline, it does go back to discipline. It does go back to mindset. And that's why I'm saying too, that accountability partner, and just checking in, just say, okay, here's our check-in. Here's what we said we were going to do. Here's where we are. And then just being vulnerable, because I can struggle with that a lot, just being vulnerable. Even though I say I'm an open book on certain things, I really am, but it's other things that I'm not as much. Okay. And it depends on who it is. I am an open book. T is over here like, no, she's not, but I am. I don't mind sharing, and I don't mind talking about things if you ask me. So that's my spiel on the debt. And here's something that I heard, and I think I said it a couple of weeks ago on the show, is just imagining life with no payments. That is so sexy to me. Like, that is what keeps me going right now. And I always get that mantra or that saying in your mind, the thing that keeps you focused, that affirmation, whatever it is. And for me, that is it right now. Imagining life with no payments. And Terri, I'm gonna bring you in here in a second. I know I'm just talking.
Girl, that's what she does. I just want you to.
But this was that was the plan for me to share this story and kind of be the guest speaker today. It just to share this story. But imagining life with no payments, that just that got me, and I can see that. So just imagine all of your salary, other than your necessities, your water, your light, your gas,
right.
and things like that. But no car payments, no credit card payments, and to a point, no house payment if you decide to go at that after you finish all that other stuff. So you can live debt free. I believe that.
And here's the thing to that too. Simply, the first step is believing that you can, and forget naysayers, because a lot of people don't even believe that you can.
They don't. I have talked about this. Imagine no payments, and they was like, "Yeah, I wish it could be that way." Well, it can. People are doing it. People are doing it. Right? It's just not easy, and because if it was, everybody be doing it, right? Right.
One of the things that I learned, I think it was a comedian or somebody was saying it, but what he said stuck in my head. He said, "If you have payments, you don't have money." And for some reason, for years now, that's stuck in my head, and it's true. Right? The feeling of that pressure, that weight, and we're so used to being in debt that we don't realize it. Right? It's like when you're being underneath something, you've been there so long, you get used to being there. But once you get out of it, you get that feeling of freedom, almost like weight coming off the shoulders a little bit. It is a world of difference.
Yes. And they say, period. And I believe this, debt is a thief. It is taking all of your money. And it's really like loans that you've gone out and done, because every time you put on a credit card, that's a loan, right? So imagining life with no payments.
So, Miss Terri Minor, we know that you are on the other side of debt elimination, and we are waiting patiently to hear your story and how you got to the other side.
Absolutely. So I want to be clear, though. I'm not free and clear, right? I'm on the other side, but I am not free yet. We're getting there.
Yeah, for sure. It's a journey.
It's a journey. Exactly.
I am a work in progress. But, I think what happened is basically what happens to a lot of people. I think it was a few years ago, I lost my job. And even when doing what I thought was my due diligence, right? My mom always told me, always have at least 6 months worth of all your bills and stuff like that available, saved up. So if something happens, you'll be okay. And so I had that. And then I lost my job. So I'm thinking, okay, I might be okay. I'm trying to find my job. But, 2 months goes by, 4 months, and we hit 6 months and we're in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, even though I was doing other things to get money, it wasn't like having a job, right?
Right.
So I then have to turn to, rely on my credit card and do things like pay my rent and, had a car payment, all of that kind of stuff, which, as we know, if you pay your rent and car payments or things like that with a credit card, there's an additional charge on there, right? So it goes on for a year before I find a job. So that's almost 6 months without real income. And so I got myself into a bind. Right? I think I was looking at $10,000 in debt, only on a couple of credit cards.
Wow.
So yeah, I got there, and it was, that was tough. And it was a lot of things that you guys are saying, even though this was kind of maybe not super extreme example, but I kind of got put in the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I finally get a decent job so I can start paying some things back, and it is a lot like you guys are saying. It's kind of scary, right? I have this mountain of debt. My credit is super low now because all of these things are happening,
right.
But I need to get myself in a good situation with my credit, because now I'm at the age where I'm looking to potentially buy a house or even to get into another apartment, right? They're going to run my credit to see if I can turn the lights on or any of my utilities, right? So I'm already struggling, and I got a credit of less than 500, which I didn't even think was possible. So, they're going to hit me with a $200, $300 deposit if I go turn the lights on, right?
Yes.
So, and then, try to look at how am I going to pay this off? So kind of like what you were saying, Melanie, I had to get very disciplined, right? And I would love to say that, yeah, I'm disciplined, right? I can do it. No, I was put in a corner. I had no option, right? If I wanted to have any kind of choices in the future, I had to take care of whatever was happening at that point in time. So I had to get rid of that debt. And so I had to write out a budget. And I don't think I knew what it was called at that time, but I think I was doing kind of the Snowball Method. So I figured out how much my bills were, my rent, utilities, car insurance, car payment, all that kind of stuff. Looked at how much gas I used and budgeted, groceries. And I did have a little bit of money for entertainment too, right? Just a little bit. You never know what happens, right?
Right.
So I did that. And then whatever I had left, right, I figured out how to, that was all going to go to pay this stuff off, right? And I can't remember what I was watching. I think I was watching something like CNBC Money or something, and they were mentioning, I think it's the Snowball Method. So they were saying, hey, rank out your credit cards, see which ones have the highest interest, rank them out by the amount. Well, I think I only had like 2 or 3. I didn't have a lot. And so that's what I did. I started with the smallest one, though. I think I'm kind of like Melanie. I need to see those wins, right?
Yeah.
You need to see that light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
So, I started paying those off, and, we all got smartphones. Every credit card that you have has an app on it, and you can see it going down. You can see that. And so finally, I got to the point I paid off the lowest one. I think the lowest one was at $2,000. And another problem was they were constantly, being maxed out, which is terrible on your credit, right?
For sure.
So I paid off the I kind of had separated. This is the amount of money that I was going to pay, and I think I heard you guys say this before. It's hard to be disciplined to do that. And one of the things that helped me out a lot is you can set automatic payments on each of those cards. And so I never had an option of whether or not I was going to pay that much. It did it automatically. So it didn't wait for me to pay. So I set it. And then what I did was if I had any extra money, I would send an extra payment. Right. So, and I would never wait until the bill cycle was done. I would always do it a day or two before the bill cycle. Try to get rid of some of that interest that was going to be
right.
So I paid off the last, it was the one that had the least amount first, and I kept the same amount of money that I was paying out and just pushed it towards the one that had the higher balance. And it just so happened for mine, the one with the lower balance had the higher interest rate. So I kind of just kept doing that until I could pay them off, kind of one by one. But it was like, it is not easy. Like I said, it was extremely difficult, but also I heard you guys talking about accountability partners. I had an awesome friend that was like, man, I would call her like, all I want to do, I have this opportunity. I'm going to work now. I need to go buy some new clothes. And she's like, you better go hit the iron. Chill out, right? Cute shoes. You got some shoes in there. You're fine. Keep it moving.
Keep moving.
And so I had she was really a friend, and it was funny too because you're talking about being transparent, being vulnerable, right? Not a lot of people even knew that I had lost my job, and not a lot of people knew that I was going through that kind of turmoil, right? Because I'm a super private person, but also being vulnerable is hard, and it's almost embarrassing. Which
for sure,
it shouldn't be, right? It should not be, because the average person in America has anywhere from what $10,000 to $30,000 in debt, and those are people who don't own houses. Or it's funny we say own houses, but are paying to own a house, right? Or paying to own something. Yeah, that's the average of debt in this country. So we're so used to being in debt. More than likely, the person sitting next to you is going through the same thing you are.
Yeah.
And I didn't learn that until I went through that. And come to find out, my friend who is encouraging me, she's struggling through the same thing, right?
Wow.
So we're both kind of going through. Do we need to do this? Do we don't need to do this? And we were I consider fairly young, so we got that temptation of, do we go out? All this kind of stuff, and it was hard. But once we started to see those gains, I think it made it a lot easier. But like I was telling Tiffany, it definitely changed my attitude or my mindset about money and about debt. Because, like I said before, it was so funny. Once I got zero balances on those credit cards, I took a screenshot. I sent it to my friend. Yes, I'm free at least from this. At least this, I'm free. And it was a little bit of a celebration, but also I don't ever want to be there again, right? Whether it doesn't matter if it's like somebody says your fault or not your fault. The reality is that people think that people who are poor are only in this situation. That's not true. Like I was telling Tiffany before, we all know that people who are lower income actually get targeted to have bad products, what I call bad products, like high interest credit cards, payday loans. Those things are targeted to people who have low income, right? It's to trap them in a cycle, right? And so it does not matter. It's not only people with low incomes. Everybody gets into this situation. I actually read I think it was an article of a guy who his gross was like $3.5 million a year, and he's in trouble. So it is definitely a mindset. So
it's
the same
definitely
thing.
A mindset.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes. It's the same thing now, right? Like you guys were saying, it is easy for me to accumulate, some amount of money on my credit card. But one thing that I don't feel comfortable with is a balance. And so when I get paid, I pay off that credit card, right? And it's usually by the end of the week. If I have multiple credit cards now, but I'm very specific about which ones I use. So I found out that, I use Amazon a lot, like everybody does. Well, I applied for an Amazon credit card because it gives me 5% back. But that card never, ever carries a balance. So I only get the benefit of doing that.
Yeah. But you have that discipline.
Yeah.
Because, and it is discipline, not because I'm great. I'm great at being disciplined. No, it's because I'm scared. I don't ever. There might be things that I can't control to get me back in that situation. But I'll tell you one thing: I will fight and do everything I can not to be there again, because the freedom that you feel, a little bit, not having that on. Like I think I was saying this yesterday. We're so used to being in debt. So used to having car payments, mortgage payments, or rent payments that we don't know what it's like not to have a payment. But if you have payments, you do not have money. That's just the flat out reality of it.
And then imagining life with no payment. So, and one of the things that in the videos that I was listening to is we spend on emotions, right? And so it talks about people who purchase things on credit card versus people who spend with cash. That emotion there, even though you pay that balance off at the end of each cycle or each month or whatever, it's still, statistics have shown and studies have shown that you still spend more when you're using a credit card versus paying cash or something that's coming directly out of your checking account. And so we still have to be careful when we're using those credit cards. Would I buy this if I was paying cash?
It's a different kind of feeling.
It's a different kind of feeling.
So if you have $500 in your purse, or if you have a credit card, how quick will you spend that $500 in your purse, or how quick will you swipe that card for $500? It's psychological. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. And so I was like, oh my God, I so agree with that. And I do want to get to I'm a point. I can't say the word on this radio, but I love points myself. And so I really just want to get to a point where I'm not so focused on those points. Actually, I am to a point where I'm not so focused on those, on getting those points. And when I'm swiping that card, those Southwest points or the American airline point, usually it's an airplane and a plane and having something to do with travel. But
if it's
not
something that
so
you need,
tied up on that.
So I guess it's based off of if it's something that you need, or if it's not, I'm just doing this because of points. You know what I'm saying? Let me just towards this because of. So maybe if it's shifting that mindset of the reasoning behind it,
could be
like, I don't know if you can do it if it's your internet bill, because we have to pay it anyway. If you can use your credit card bill to get points. Or if you can pay your tithes with that, you're going to pay them anyway, get points.
It's just all how you look at it and how you operate and have the discipline
use
to get.
That card.
Just make sure you have the discipline to pay it all off on each cycle.
To be honest with you, like, I have these credit cards and they're there and it's good. I feel like it's like a backup. And so that is when I pay for something, because you're right. If you have $500 and you go pay for something, the reason why it's a different feeling for the most part is because you see it leaving.
Yeah.
You see it's gone. You don't have it anymore.
Yep.
Right? You got something else, but you don't have money. When you have a digital card that you swipe, you never see it leaving. Right?
Yep.
Even if you look at your phone, it's a difference from physically giving it away, right? To get something. So I still use my debit card for the most part when I do things, because it comes out of the main checking account that I have. The only time that I use those credit cards is, like you guys are saying, where I know that I get a bonus, but I also know that I'm not carrying a balance on those cards.
Yeah.
And it is like I guess it is like the third option is cash, that I might have or that's in my checking account. The second option is, I think I heard you all say, is some backup money, like it's my savings account. That's the second option. The third option is those credit cards. Right? I need them to be there to function in like the financial world today. But I can, if I know the rules of the game, I know how to play it to make it work for me.
For sure. Yeah, that's good stuff. And going back to you having that 6 month savings, it made me think of when we were talking to Sean T, and he was telling his story. Like, he had a year's worth of savings, emergency savings, but he's like, but what happens on month 13? And in your case, what happens in month 7? And so if we don't have that debt, during some of that time too, like, it's robbing, it's still in the income.
Yes.
And if you could just imagine getting everything that you earn, whatever amount that is, whatever salary range that is, and all you have to pay is your necessities, and you can save and invest the rest of that.
It's a great feeling.
You can save for a car and pay in cash. You don't have to. When I listen to these shows, people have car balances that are the one I was listening to the other day. The girl had a car, $43,000. Me personally, I don't believe in that. Like, I don't think I've ever paid over $15,000 for a car, ever.
Really?
Ever. I just don't. That's just not what I don't need to do that. Maybe when I get older or something, I don't know. Older than I am right now, but whatever. So what? Anyway. But anyway, I don't know. It's just, that's just not something I feel like I need to go and spend a whole lot of money on. I don't need that.
Right.
You know? And so
everybody got their thing.
Like, I am still at, I can't imagine spending $30,000 on a car. I just can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
25, but I have never paid over $15,000 for a car. And I am that type of person that will pay it off and keep it for a while. As long as it loves me, you know, as long as it lets me, I will keep it.
I have a 20-year-old car. That's not my only one, so I understand. I have a 20-year-old car. I paid it off and I kept it.
Yeah.
It was running.
I won't talk about how long I've kept my cars.
Now, the last car I got, I did get because I wanted a new car, but the other one was paid off and it was fine. And this one, it was like a $13,000 car.
Man,
10 years old when I got it, but immaculate. You know, so
that mindset, that is a blessing. You know what? The cool thing about that is that you know that that you're okay with, and this is what you want. And the reality is that you don't need a 30,000 or 45,000 car, right?
Yep.
Because you already know that you don't need it, and you're cool with it. Man, keep that mindset. Don't let somebody tell you
anything different.
Ain't no
exactly.
chances. Ain't no chances.
The funny thing is, I'm a car head. I really am. I am a car head. Seriously.
Nope.
You do. That, you know what I'm saying? That is awesome because a lot of times when people go get these cars and things like that, the way, I don't know how everybody else is taught, but the way we were taught, it was just a terrible way. Now that I think about it, is that, okay, you look at the budget that you have, your money that you're coming in, and they tell you spend a third of the money on like housing expenses, a third goes into savings, and then a third is like something else. I can't remember. It was like long-term investments, like retirement, like third, right? That's a terrible idea because what you end up doing is, even if you say, I'm put all this money in as a third, you then start to say that, hey, I can have payments that balloon up to a third of my income that comes in monthly. That is a really bad idea for the most part because all these other things have already taken up the money. You don't have any buffer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then you say, oh, you don't worry about the cost of the house or the cost of the car. You're worrying about the amount in the payment. And so you then get an $80,000 truck. And because they can give you a $900 payment.
Ridiculous.
Come on now, right?
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. Like, and so you end up paying for. You notice that these cars, the loans, they started to extend them. Now you can get a 7-year loan.
Yes.
Cars don't last 7
Right. Insane.
And then the amount of interest that is spent in all of that, like
over those years. My thing is live beneath your means.
Period.
That to me.
Period.
Live beneath.
We need to do more living beneath our means and letting the money work for us. I mean, we got to take care of our older selves. Like,
yes,
really. My husband says this thing. Somebody told him some years ago. He said the man said, Mike, don't let young Mike spend all of old Mike's money.
I like it.
You know, and it's the truth when you really think about it. What you do in your younger years totally affects life when you're older.
Yes.
You know.
Yep. I want to live free.
I do too.
And what freedom looks like to me.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep. And I'm looking forward to life with no payments. Like, for real. That is just sexy to me, and I can't wait to get there. And I'm just going to keep sharing my journey with you guys and just letting you know all the little wins and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm dancing in my chair right now. Like, hey.
I wish I knew what you know at the age that you are now. So I think you're doing amazing. I wish somebody would have said something to me, or I would have had some experiences. So I think you're on a great track.
You're in a great place, honey. You're 10, 12 years behind us,
Yes.
you're in an awesome place. You're tripping.
And I wish I knew what I know now and had the mindset when I was your age. So, I mean, my mindset is developing over time. It has developed over time, but I wish I had been an early starter, for real. So I do think of things differently, but if I had this mindset when I was even 29, heck, 39, my life right now even would look a whole lot different. So I'm not bad. I do well, but I definitely am looking forward to life with no payments.
Yes. Well, this has been an awesome conversation. Terri, thank you for joining us in this conversation about debt elimination and this journey.
Yes, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Girls Talk Money with Money T and Simply C.
Catch us every Monday right here on YouTube at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time.
You can also email us at letstalkmoney1969@gmail.com.
And remember,
as a man thinketh in his heart,
so is he. Your money mindset matters.